Hello and welcome to another tutorial on Power BI. Today in this particular video we will be discussing DAX functions. DAX stands for Data Analysis Expressions, and it is actually a library of functions that help you build formulas. It has a set of operators that you can use to create measures and calculated columns within Power BI, which can give you a lot of insight actually. So your data might have a limited approach and you want to expand it in terms of analysis. It is not actually very complicated and you will get a hang of it very soon. Just a bit of practice is all you need. So let's begin. The very first thing that we want to do in this data set is to understand it actually. So here we have two tables. Let's look at them. This is one of the tables, that is sales. So on this data panel, you can see that in sales table, we have customer, the date purchased, order ID, product ID, and the number of units sold. On the other hand, in the second data, which is named as store, we have a list of product IDs, their names, the production cost, and the price at which the products are being sold. So we will begin with very simple measures. Let's go to the report tab first, and here we will click on new measure. Either you can click it here from the panel. I'll show it again. So here on the panel you can see new measure and quick measure. Either you can click here or you can come here and right click on the table and select new measure. So the very first measure that we will create is sales count. It has given us a default name which is measure, and I would like to change it to the count of sales, or sales underscore count is equal to. Now whichever function you would like to use, you just need to start writing it and you will see an autocomplete function which will provide you with list of options. And from here I want to select count. Now it is prompting me to select a particular column, and for that I need to select order ID. Either you can go down here, or if you have a lot of variables and a bunch of columns, you can just simply write it here, order ID, and you will have your concerned column listed here. Now you need to close the parentheses and press enter, and you can see a sales count measure has been created here. You will see a symbol of calculator which shows that we have calculated something or created a function. If I want to see what sales count has been created, I can just click on it, and here you can see it in the form of a graph, and I want to see it in tabular form, so you can see a sales count here. Now I'll get it back to the chart here. So now what I would continue with is a little more investigation into the count of sales, and I would like to categorize it with respect to the customers I have. So I'll pick this customer and drop it here in the columns, and you can see the sales count is on the left. I'll just change the order and should work. And here I'll just increase the size of this table, and you can see that we have the analysis of customers in terms of the sales count. Now the sales count is not enough to tell if a customer is profitable enough. The next thing we are going to do is we will see how many products have been sold. So let's make a new table here, and I will select product ID and product name. Now I want to see how many products have been sold in terms of quantity for each of these. So I will create a new measure again, and this time it will be sum of products sold and how would I go? I will calculate the sum of the units sold, and close the parentheses again and press enter. So here you can see that sum of products sold, a new measure has been created, and if I want it to be added to my table, I just need to check this box, and here you can see that the sum of the products sold is there. Now you can see the best sellers, the worst sellers, and it can help you take decisions regarding the continuation or discontinuation of different products at your outlet or retail store. The next set of functions that we want to discuss are the iterator functions. The iterator functions means that a calculation will be made at the end of each row. So iterator functions or X functions, let's discuss them. But before that, let's create a new table first. Alright, so let's bring it here. So let's calculate the profit by customer. So the very first thing that we want to select here is customer. So just checkbox, and here you go. And now we want to create a new measure. Let's see. So we want to calculate profit, and how do we do that? We add all the prices, that would be our revenue, close the parentheses, subtract the sum of cost, close the parentheses overall, because we want to multiply it with the number of, or the sum of units sold. There, we close the parentheses and let's press enter. I hope it works. So here the profit is calculated. I'll check the box and you can see the customers with respect to the profit that they have created individually. But let's move on and see if we want to know what kind of profit has each product created. So we have created a new measure here, and measure entails the profit generated. Now I will copy it first and go to the data view or table view. Now I want to create a new column for the store, and I want to know the profit that each product has created. So I will click add a new column from here, and I will name it as profit column, right? And I will paste the function that I created earlier, right? So I'll press enter, and you can see a new column has been created, but the problem is that the same value is being shown at each row. What the system does, it has calculated the total of price and the total of production cost, taken a difference and multiplied it with the sales per of the entire unit. Now we want to see what each product is entailing as a profit, not as a complete retail outlet. Alright, so I'll change it to a new column and let it stay here. I will add a new column and I will call it profit column with sum X, profit underscore column underscore sum X. Now we will use the function sum X. So now it's asking where to get the values from. We will say sales. Now it will ask for the expression, and what we will do, we will paste the expression that we copied. And now what we will do, we will just remove the sums that are there. So we will remove sum from here, and then we will remove sum from here, right? And because we're removing that, we need to remove this parentheses as well. Then we will just remove sum from here, and we're almost done. And let's see, just changed a few parentheses, just notice it closely. I have had sum of x, then I opened a parentheses, mentioned the table, and then the entire formula that I copied earlier, and then I will press enter, removing all the sales. And now you can see that the calculation has been done at each row, right? So this is the data that we wanted to show. This is the calculation or the analysis that we wanted to show. Here it suggests the profit that has been incurred because of each product. Now this presentation can help you make strategies regarding the continuity of the products, discontinuity, if you want to increase the price or you want to decrease the cost for a particular product. So it can help you make quite a few decisions when you are managing your portfolio, and same can go for different portfolio options and the profit that you are entailing. So you can have a cost profit analysis in a very good way here. Now we will move on to another set of measures or calculations with respect to the date based data. So we'll quickly move towards sales data, and you can see that we have a column of date purchased here. So we have date here and we would like to create a new column. I'll just quickly go over it. This column would entail the day of the week. So if you see, now if you see, we have a few functions here with respect to date, and we can also check day functions. So if you see, we have day, today, weekday. So these are quite self-explanatory. We have previous day, and what we want to do, let's see, we want to have the sales with respect to weekday. So when I add this, it will prompt me to mention which column do we need. So we need we need date purchased, so I'll pick date purchased here. Now it's asking me to identify what kind of function do I need. Let's put a comma here. We have 3 options, and if you want to know which option is this, you can read about it. It says Sunday is 1 through Saturday, which is 7. Then we have a few more options. If you see the second one, I'm sorry, I'm clicking it the wrong way. If you see the second one, it says Monday is 1 and Sunday would be 7, which makes more sense because our week usually starts with Monday. So I'll close the parentheses and I'll press enter, and the column will be filled by the day of the week. Now we know which day the sales are being made, and we can get a pattern of sales. Usually, you know that in case of retail stock prices, the days are very important. We need to know, if we're working at stock exchange, we need to know which day we have the maximum increase in the points and which day a pattern of slow sales or a decline is being evident. So here we can come towards the report view, and I'll just put it somewhere here. So I will select the date purchased here, right? And let's get a bar chart. with respect to, we have sales, right? And we want, because we have the data for 1 year, we want to remove the quarter, we want to remove the year, and now we have monthly view with declining trend towards March, and we don't even want month, so we can have the view of different days, and that is the sales by count. And if we want to remove this, we want to see the number of units sold, and here you can see a pattern, but still we are not sure what the pattern is suggesting, and because it can be any day of the month, so we will put our calculated day of the week on y-axis, and we will remove this day. Now you can see, although this is a fabricated self-made data, so it won't make much of a pattern, but you can see that now we are aware of the fact that there is some kind of dip in the midweek, so we can make our strategies, promotions accordingly, and we know that Monday and let's say Wednesday is one of the days, two of the days which entail the most sales. So this is the way we can generate a pattern, and it depends on the kind of data you have, what kind of patterns do you actually want to see. The patterns could be monthly, seasonal cycles can be presented in this way. It can be the 4 seasons of the year, and you want to encapsulate the 4 seasons, and then you want to project the data. So it depends on the data and the kind of communication you want to make with respect to your data. So this is just a simple DAX expression that caters to the date. The next thing we will be looking at is the if statements, if else statements. If you have ever used Excel or Python, you know the conditions and the statements associated with it. So the same thing will be happening in Power BI. So we're going to create a new column in the tabular view. Let's go to the tabular view, and with the date of the week, we will create a new column, and that new column will have a condition, and we want to have a condition on the order size. So let's see, I create a condition on the order, and now I select if. There are a few other ifs here as well, but I'll select this one. It says that once you state the logical test, then tell which one is the result if that test turns out to be true, and what would be the result if the test turns out to false. So here we will select units sold. Units sold from the sales table, and we want to see if it is greater than 25. So we want to see if this unit sold is greater than 25. We will write it as a big order, and comma. Otherwise, if the condition is not true, we will write small order. We close the parentheses and press enter. So here you can see that we have applied a simple condition of the number of units ordered for a particular customer, and by this we will get to know if we are getting a big order or a small order, and we can make strategies according to it. We can manage the deliveries accordingly. We can select our courier services accordingly if we happen to have multiple vendors or courier services, and we will likely have a view if we are getting more orders, the big ones, or we're getting more small orders, and we can manage and make strategies according to this particular piece of information as well. These were a few things that we could do around with DAX functions. There are plenty more that we can do. We will discuss a few more in the coming video. For now, I think this is enough. I would like you and expect you to practice, move around a bit, make new functions, new calculations, and new columns, and slowly and gradually you will start enjoying it as well. So thank you for now. I'll see you in the next tutorial.